Hey guys, it's me again, and welcome back to another video. This time I'm trying something new yet again. I've been trying a lot of things new with this channel, and I wouldn't say expect more of it to come anytime soon, if anything does happen. But I just want to make a quick video that basically is just letting you guys know where I'm like at with this channel because I haven't forgotten about it, and I have no intention of just leaving it behind. So yeah, quick talk about what I'm going to be doing with this channel, and also where I am in my life currently, and currently where I am in video games currently. Obviously, you're going to have some gameplay um, of D2 in the background because that's really been what I've been playing the past couple of months. This is being recorded while we are a bit over halfway through summer. So let's just talk and just see where we're at. This video is going to be divided into um, 4 different sections. So um, this first one is just what I'm going to be doing, a quick introduction to just everything, what to expect if you're going to be watching this throughout the entire thing. This might be a long video. This is a bit of an ambitious project. Um, and yeah, just just a quick heads up on where I am and everything. So yeah, quick introduction. The next segment will be where I am in life. How I'm feeling, what I plan on, what I think I'm gonna do, what I don't want to do, college, jobs, careers, maybe what I might do with YouTube and stuff like that, and a bunch of other stuff. So that's gonna be an interesting segment, to say the least. I know you guys aren't really concerned what I do in my personal life, and I'm not gonna get like too personal about it. I might like tell you guys like what's been going on the past couple of months, but believe me, you're not missing much. So yeah, basically what I plan on doing in my life and how that sort of relates to the channel. So that's what that section will be dedicated to, and the section after that will be dedicated to Destiny 2 and the whole final shape, because I want to give a pretty lengthy discussion on where I am with D2 and the final shape as a whole, because there's a lot I want to get off my chest here. I also sort of want to talk about how my motivation to play certain games has changed throughout in that little session. So yeah, the third section will basically be talking about D2, the final shape, my motivation to play games, and maybe some other stuff about the channel, clips, all that, yada yada. And then um, the final section will be about Little Nightmares 3 and other playthroughs that I might do. Even though playthroughs are a bit of a lost art on this channel, I haven't forgotten about them entirely, and if there are any doubts, for those who still care, yes, a Little Nightmares 3 playthrough is going to happen 100%. 100%. It's going to happen. I don't know when Little Nightmares 3 comes out. If it's in college, I might have some trouble recording it, but I will do my best to make sure a Little Nightmares 3 playthrough happens, because Little Nightmares has been a very special game to me throughout these years, and I'm very excited for the third game. They haven't given much on the third game besides the trailer that came out months ago, so I'm trying to pay attention. I don't know if Little Nightmares 3 is going to be the end of the saga. If it is, I'll be sad, but I will still be happy that I got to experience Little Nightmares 3 while I did. So yeah, that is where this video is going to be headed. And I just want you guys to know that this is going to be a long video. This is a very ambitious project of mine. It's being edited on the Share Factory in the PlayStation, so if the editing is shitty, I apologize. I don't have really any special editing software, but I'm doing my best, and you'll sort of see why I'm doing this to begin with, because part of the reason why I'm making this is because I want to play around with editing software and see how I can do with that. So yeah, this is like my first little time dipping into that pond. So I don't know where I'll go with it, but yeah. It is also unscripted, so if I stutter, then you know why. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So let's get into the first section, my life. So, I'm at a bit of a point in my life where I am beginning to want, I'm starting to experiment with certain things. My first semester of college it went okay. Nothing special really happened, but nothing great also happened. If I had to describe it, it was good, but boring. It was too good, perhaps. It was so good that it was boring. You know, it was too smooth, and that's been a good way to describe my life, sort of. I've always been someone who makes things go very, very smooth. I'm not that much of a risk taker, and I'm trying to change that a little bit in my life. So, what do I mean by that? So, I'm going to take you guys back to high school a little bit. I know I said I wouldn't get too personal, but I just want to take you guys back to give you a bit of, just to give you a bit of an idea of what I'm getting at here. I want to take you guys back to my high school days, or just my school days in general. I was always a person that never really took risks. I would always just do what everyone around me told me to do, and that's not a bad way to go through life, but I never really thought to myself what I wanted to do. I just thought about what I had to do. I was more concerned about getting through things rather than exploring things. And if there are any young people watching this video right now, I want you to know that even if you're taking safe routes in life, there's nothing wrong with that. But always take the time to explore, to just explore things in your life that you might want to do. Even if it seems so outlandish, just go and do it. Give it a good, genuine try and see if you like it. If you don't like it, at least you tried. At least you tried at the end of the day, because you did something that I didn't. And that is one of my bigger regrets about my early adolescent days. I was very, very safe. Almost too safe. And I know I'm still young. I'm 19 when I'm recording this video. So it's not all bad. It's not like I've wasted all opportunities and I have no chance of accomplishing anything worthwhile. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I regret that I did so little, that I'm just now figuring out that I want to start actually trying different things. I've told other people about this. I've told my parents somewhat. I've told friends, coworkers, and stuff like that. So it's not all. It's just something that's starting out. But what I'm getting at here is, if you really feel like you want to explore something, make new friends, or make that move on that one person, go and do it. As far as we know, we have only one life on this rock that we have here. So just try. Just give it a shot. Just go for it, man. Don't do what I did in my early days. If you see something that you think might be worthwhile, I guarantee you there is a good chance that it is. So go for it. Go and get it. So basically, that's how my life has gone so far. Just to give you guys a heads up and just show you where we are. So now that you have that bit of background information, where does this leave us? Well, it leaves us at a point where I've decided that there are a couple things that I want to explore. One of those things is what you're seeing right now. I've thought about the idea of making good, just long videos about like sort of commentary, but I've sort of wanted to, I don't want to be someone who just talks about drama on the internet, and it's just it's such a boring topic, and I have no interest in being that type of creator, if I ever am one. But yeah, so if I'm ever going to do stuff with like editing and other things, it will likely be videos like this where I just talk about something I want to talk about. If it's a game, if it's a movie, if it's something that's going on in the world, the election's coming up, maybe talk about that. If it's ever something about that, maybe I'll talk about it. Just sit down, talk, give my thoughts about it. Maybe do a video on like something like Last of Us 2, like a really controversial like game that has been in my mind for years now, or maybe talk about whatever. So I'm giving that this video is me just giving that a shot, and it's my first genuine shot at it. I've also, started about working on bikes for a living because motorcycles have really interested me in the past couple of years. I'm thinking next summer about getting a license for biking, and that sounds really fun to me. That sounds really cool. I have a driver's license. I've had one for years now, but obviously, the idea of biking has really appealed to me. So, in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I worked on a manual bike, not an actual motorcycle, but I worked on one, sort of with help from my dad in a couple of videos, but mostly by myself. I took most of it apart and put it back together. I learned about how things like the brakes work, how, the bike itself works, because when I'm like driving or just using a machine, I'm never really thinking about like what's actually happening. But it was really cool to just take a step back and just be like, yeah, that is how that works, right? So really cool little excursion I did there. I think I was down in the basement working on that bike for like 8 to 10 hours. It was very long. Um, and I was really proud of it because it was like the first time I've gone off the beaten path and done something out of my own accord. And not only did I do it, but I stuck with it for a very long time. And that is something I have struggled with a lot in my life. You know, I finally asked myself, like, what do I want to do? And I did it. I haven't done much with bikes since, but that's not because I've lost motivation. I think it's just because I'm so preoccupied with things like work, the gym, school, thinking about school, seeing family. So part of it is my fault because I have time that I'm just procrastinating with. That's another thing I've needed to get done. But obviously, I'm not going to get too far into that. It's just basic procrastination. You're not missing out on much. But yeah, I'm just really proud that I went out and did that. And obviously, another option for me is to stay in college. And that's not a bad idea, but I just don't know if I would like to do that. You know, the old saying, all good things come to those who stay true. That's what I've thought about a lot when I'm on the topic of college. So there's that. Um, Obviously, college degrees are very valuable, and you would definitely want one if you want to get like really far in life. Obviously, you don't need one, but it makes things a lot easier. And my parents are really convincing me to stay in college, and I can see why. I see why they're doing that. Obviously, my perspective on it's a little different. If I don't enjoy what I'm doing, which I didn't really enjoy my first semester in college, then what's the point? But at the same time, you don't have to enjoy everything you do. You just have to know that it will be worth it at the end of the day. So I know I'm sort of yapping here, but it's it's definitely something that is tricky for me because I don't want to end up doing something I I hate doing. Um yeah. So at college, I've thought about getting a physics degree, which is a very valuable degree in today's world. It's a very competitive landscape, and my family has really only asked me about that whenever I see them. But I've gotten some help with it from family and friends, and they even understand if I don't want to do college. And having people who understand is a very valuable part of just your journey in life. Um, but yeah, I'm getting off track here. I want to just go back and just see how I'm feeling about college. Because this next upcoming semester, I will go to college this next semester. I will, and I will do a lot of stuff that's relevant to my major because I couldn't do a lot of stuff for my major in my first semester because of math, but I finally got that fixed. I'm taking calculus. That's all going to be fixed. That's all fixed up, and I'm going to be doing stuff related to physics. So this is probably one of the most important time spans of time in my life because it will determine if this is what I really want to do. So, yeah. If you don't hear from me much in that time, you'll know why. So that is pretty much it on how I'm feeling about things I want to do. Obviously, something else might come up, but I'm just starting to just think, oh, shit, there's also one more thing. See, that's why it's unscripted. It's also unscripted. I'm making mistakes. There is one more thing I actually want to talk about. Music. I fucking love music so much. I post a song of the day on Instagram not every single day, but I try to. I post a song on my Instagram note almost every single day, and I call it Song of the Day. I love music so much. My favorite artists are probably The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar. Very basic choices, I know, but hey, good music is good music at the end of the day. You can't judge me there. I don't think anybody's gonna judge me, but if you do, good music is good music. So I've thought about starting something with music. I thought about being a really good artist, but that is a very tricky thing to do. Making good music is a very, very difficult thing. It's sort of something that you need to have a knack for. You need to have just a good idea on how to make music, on how to succeed in making music. I haven't really tried anything with it yet, but I've just looked around. I've seen people that I've gone to school with. People I've gone to school with are starting to are doing like music making and stuff like that. Even if it's just like production, not even vocals or anything like that, just straight up production and making beats. Something as simple as that, you can still make a good career out of that in music. So obviously, not much to say there beyond that, but it's definitely something I've also considered because just music can be such a great like medium of entertainment. It's actually something I consider to be a really good medium of entertainment. So if I want to do something there, then I will definitely try it. But we're getting to the end of this section about me talking about my life, and yeah, so you guys basically know where I'm at right now, what I want to try, and what my advice to you is in terms of life. So yeah, that will basically wrap up this section about life. And we're going to go into the next section that is related to the game you're seeing right now. D2 in the latest expansion, the Final Shape. Just a quick heads up for you guys. This next part is going to be might be a bit hard to follow because, yet again, unscripted. But I just hope you guys are able to, pick apart what I'm saying here. Just giving you a heads up. Alright. Let's get into it. So, Destiny 2 and the Final Shape, and also how I'm feeling about games right now. So, let's start with Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has always been one of those games that I feel you need to be strongly committed to it in order to enjoy it. If you are not committed to Destiny 2, I don't think you'll enjoy it. And I consider myself to be someone who's committed to this game, and I love this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And that's why I'm sort of using it as a way to talk about how my motivation to play games has actually sort of like changed over the years. So back then, it was all about, having fun and stuff, and it still kind of is. But as time went on, I've sort of moved toward like how like succeeding in games. I've always just moved toward trying to do my best in games. So the fun aspect of games has sort of shifted a little bit and gone toward a more competitive aspect. So what does that mean? Basically, a lot of my enjoyment in games has gone from just stupid fun to actually succeeding, getting good stuff, like getting good loot, like in Destiny. Feeling rewarded for your efforts. I even I'll talk about this more in my next segment about Little Nightmares 3, but I played through Dark Souls 3 like months ago, and I finished it, and I was like, I loved that game because it felt so rewarding to actually complete, to finish. So, and like in Fortnite, it feels extremely satisfying to have a high kill game. In Destiny, it feels extremely satisfying to get good loot and complete that raid you've been thinking about doing, or complete that solo you've been thinking about doing. Or shit. It can be a simple game too. Like FIFA. It can feel extremely rewarding to get a good goal. It can feel extremely rewarding to just, to to beat a good team. So that is where my enjoyment of games has sort of shifted to. I mean, there are also other games you don't really see me play at all because like they're on different platforms like PC. Geometry Dash being one of them feels really satisfying when you beat that level. So, yeah. With games, my satisfaction has sort of shifted to from less fun but more toward accomplishments and like just overall like being just good. That doesn't mean I've like completely abandoned fun altogether, because obviously, like in this clip, I'm like right here, we're doing a 4-man of Root of Nightmares, and obviously we want to do it because it's a challenge, but at the same time, we're having fun with it. You know, we wouldn't be doing it if you weren't having fun at the end of the day. So that's the important part. So fun is important, but so is just accomplishments to me. So where does that leave us with games in general? Or should I say, Final Shape in general? That's something that I can now segue into. Final Shape has definitely been, one of the better expansions that Destiny has ever gotten. You might even argue it's the best, even beating out Forsaken. I'm not here to argue that. I'm just here to argue, or not argue, but just talk about how Final Shape has sort of affected my motivation to play games, and Destiny 2 as a whole. How do I feel right now ever since Final Shape dropped? And to answer that question, we have to go back to Destiny pre-Final Shape, because Destiny pre-Final Shape was rough for the most part. It was really rough until Into the Light dropped, and Into the Light really saved the damn game. It saved my motivation to play, it gave me something to grind toward, and it just gave me something that, it it gave me just something to always look forward to doing whenever I got on the game, and that's always just something I want to do. I want to look forward to doing something whenever I load up a game, like Destiny. Whenever I loaded up Destiny during the Into the Light days, and even the Final Shape days, especially the Final Shape days, I would always be like, man, there is a lot I can do with this. So, yeah. They definitely increased, the incentive to just grind and be dedicated to a game. And I'm so glad that they did that, because I haven't really been feeling that for games in a very long time, My friends have really been the only reason why I still play games now. And the fact that I can hop back on Destiny and just feel rewarded for, just grinding out, like, it feels so damn nice to have that back into the game. It gave me a reason to finally hop on Destiny, because if I'm not enjoying Destiny, I don't know if I'm enjoying many games in general, because like I said, Destiny sort of embodies, why I love games now. That just feeling of reward, and Destiny does that so damn well. So, where does that leave us? Now that Destiny is doing good, and games are doing good for me, I've just now felt more motivation to just play and to get on by myself and just do things. And I think that is so important for me to enjoy games. So obviously, um, I'm gonna be uploading clips still, but I've just gotten in. I've gone back in. I've sort of gotten back into tune with how I just used to enjoy games. Destiny 2 has sort of sparked my love for games a little bit. I've started hopping on and just playing by myself, which isn't something I have done much in the past couple of months, honestly. And it just feels good to be doing that again. Like with clips, I haven't really been uploading many clips as of late, but that's because I've been interacting with my friends more. I've been sending clips to my friends' group chat more, because it used to be that I would send clips to my YouTube, And that's how my friends could view them, because if we had PS4 at the time, we didn't have with the technology and capabilities that the PS5 brought us. So we were sort of just operating off of YouTube. And yeah, so now that we're interacting with games more, I just feel a lot more. I feel a lot more joy that comes with like multiplayer games and stuff like that. I haven't really felt this way with games for a while, but I'm just glad that Destiny 2 is able to just respark my enjoyment of games and as a whole, you know. So yeah, obviously I've definitely yapped for a little bit in this section. I can already tell some of you are already feeling that way, but I'll try to change course a little bit here and go to a different topic about games and just talk about how, you know, how I just like play those and stuff like that. And I also sort of want to connect to you guys again to just let you guys, because I let you guys know how like my experience can like help you. Because at the end of the day, it's always good to help people. So obviously with games, my friends are a huge motivator for playing games, and it's sort of been it's been good, but it's also had its cons. It used to be that I would really only care about playing games, but as life has moved on, as things have, gotten different, as games have evolved, as life has changed, I have sort of felt like a bit of an emptiness that games haven't really been able to fill. And I think that's just going out and enjoying life. I think games have been great, and they've been a great thing that happened to me. Like, if I didn't play games, I wouldn't have met the friends you're seeing on screen right now. Maybe like one or two of them, but that's it. I would not meet many of the friends you see in my clips and stuff like that. So games have sort of helped my life, but they've also detrimented my life a little bit because they've really been all that I look forward to in my day sometimes, and that's not a good thing. You don't want one thing to be the only thing you look forward to in your day. You wanna start enjoying other things. You wanna get other hobbies. And I feel like I guess you could say addiction to games has sort of, narrowed my view or just narrowed my taste in hobbies and stuff like that. I know that's kind of hard to understand, but yet again, unscripted, just trying to, really convey how I feel. I'm not good with words, I know, but I'm trying. So, obviously, if games are doing good, that's great. But at the end of the day, I have to just see how my life is really changing. I can't really just sit back and play games anymore and just pretend that everything's all right. I have to just look in on myself and the progress I'm actually making and if I'm satisfied with it. And games have sort of distracted me from that. I've sort of always allowed games to just be this method of just distraction. And I'm not saying that's bad necessarily. That's a good thing. If games are an escape for you, that's great. But at the same time, you just can't let that escapism completely just allow you to ignore like things that really matter. Unless games are something you really want to get into, you always just want to actually look at the bigger picture. Look at how your life outside of games is going. Always just pay attention, like your family, careers, college, school, relationships, all that. Don't let games or hobbies get in the way of that, because as the years have passed by, I've sort of began to feel a little bit of emptiness that comes from a lack of hobbies and just a lack of relationships. That's not to say I think I'm a loser. I don't think I'm that big of a loser, right? I've seen how losers are, like online and shit. And obviously, you can draw some distinctions there. But yeah, always just pay attention to how your life is going, and always just focus on how you can improve it. Don't let hobbies just consume your life all the time. Look out at other things. Look out at important things like jobs, careers, and all that. So, yeah. I know this segment wasn't exactly strong and I got off topic, but I hope I hope you can just understand what it is I'm trying to just convey to you, basically. So, to just wrap up this segment, to just summarize what I'm saying, because I've really, really gone off topic here. Um, Basically, D2 is, if D2 is doing good, my enjoyment in games is doing good. And that's how it's been recently. I've enjoyed games a lot recently. I've enjoyed playing a lot recently. I've enjoyed all that. But at the same time, I need to, it's always good. You just got to take a step back and just look at how you're doing and just be honest with yourself. Because I haven't been honest with myself the past couple of years in terms of playing games. I've sort of, you know, I'm not saying I'm doing terrible, but obviously just I've I've been just so distracted by games, and I haven't really known it this entire time. And the past couple of months have allowed me to see that. And I don't know what changed, but something down the line just changed. Something happened. Something just clicked inside me, and it was like, wow, I think I should, start looking at my life in the bigger picture now. Games, I'm not a kid anymore. I can't sit on games all day and just think everything will be okay. You know, I think I need to start. I need to start working. I need to start moving toward my actual goals, because games aren't my goal at the end of the day in terms of success. You know, YouTube might be, but yet again, what I said earlier in the life segment, it didn't really have much to do with games. So even though games are doing great, and that's always good because games have been a hobby I've enjoyed since I was a child, I've sort of let that hobby bog my own view of how I'm doing in just life in general. So yeah. So there's a pro and there's a con to everything. And that's what I'm trying to just explain in this segment. I know I've really gotten off topic and stuff like that, but I hope that you're able to understand where I stand on games today. And that is going to wrap up this segment. And now we're going to go to the final section of this video, Little Nightmares 3 and other playthroughs. So back in 2021, I recorded a video that was about 30 minutes long, and it basically just was the ending of the first Little Nightmares base story 2, no DLC. And I didn't know it at the time, but when I completed that game, something just really clicked inside me that hadn't been clicking for a long time. It goes back to sort of what I was talking about in the game section, that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling like you finally conquered something, that you've gone on an adventure. Little Nightmares was, I think, able to reawaken that feeling in me, and it was so special too because I was actually sharing that experience with an audience, Even if the audience was so small, it just felt so special at that moment. And I'm so glad that I recorded that video when I did, because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be making this video today, honestly. So, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that video happened. But how is that video connecting to this whole topic? Well, after that video, I did a playthrough of the Little Nightmares DLC. And it was, I think it was the Depths, then the Hideaway, and then I think it was the Mansion. The Hideaway DLC, which was the second DLC, my playthrough of that got screwed up like crazy because I accidentally had a recording error where I stopped my recording, but I forgot to save it because PS4 had this weird thing where if you put up the recording menu, it stops your recording, and you have to save it in that moment or that recording will be lost forever. So That's what happened. I accidentally closed my recording window at the end of a long recording, and I lost everything. So I addressed that already, but that's what happened. So after the whole DLC happened, I went and played Little Nightmares 2. And Little Nightmares 2 was such a fucking blast. I had so much fun recording that game and just experiencing it for the first time, where, yet again, Little Nightmares was able to just encapsulate that feeling of just adventure, you know? It's like you're two children, or you're playing as one child, but you're traveling with another child, which is 6. Or I call her Sasha from Corey Kenshin, one of my favorite YouTubers. Obviously, you travel with her, and you're just having an adventure in a world of absolute peril, you know? It sort of brings me back to, my days as a kid, where I would have so much fun, and the world around me may not be the best, but I'm still just enjoying it, because that's what life is all about, isn't it? It's about enjoying it. It's about enjoying the ride. And Little Nightmares was able to encapsulate that feeling in me again, and I think that's why it felt so special when it ended. So, when I heard that Little Nightmares 3 was coming out, I was completely stoked. Like, I was so fucking happy when I heard that Little Nightmares 3 was finally happening. I mean, I knew it was happening from the end of the second game. Like, I knew it was happening, but I was beyond stoked. And I am going to be doing a playthrough of Little Nightmares 3. If there was any doubt about that, I'm going to be doing one. I don't really care of how it does viewership-wise, but if Little Nightmares 3 just brings back that magical feeling yet again, which I think it will, I think I'm in for a great game. And I'm really happy that I've stumbled on the Little Nightmares franchise, and it's why it remains like one of my best games ever, because it's just a game that I looked forward to playing. Resident Evil, Red Dead Redemption, and Final Fantasy, I did playthroughs of all of those games, but those were playthroughs that I did not really because I wanted to play the games, but because I wanted to do playthroughs. And my enjoyment of those games wasn't great, honestly. I didn't really enjoy FF7 all that much, even though I sounded like I did. I mean, it was fun in some parts. It really was. But the game as a whole, there were just parts where I really struggled to enjoy it. Same way went for Red Dead Redemption. I struggled to enjoy that game in some parts. Same went for Resident Evil Village. I struggled to enjoy that game in some parts. But there was never really a part in Little Nightmares where I struggled to enjoy it. So that leads us to playthroughs as a whole. Are they going to continue past Little Nightmares 3? And my answer to that is maybe. I am not sure if playthroughs will fully continue past Little Nightmares 3. But if there is a game that I enjoy playing, single player by the way, if there's a game where I really just look forward to playing it, if there's just this feeling of passion for a game deep down, then there's a chance I might do a playthrough of it. Little Nightmares is one of those games where I know I'm going to enjoy it. And there are other Souls games that I want to play, but I don't know if I'll do playthroughs of many other solo games that I'm thinking of playing. And that's okay, My playthroughs aren't what really make my channel special anymore. That was a thing of the past. I think what makes my channel so special are just the stupid fucking clips I upload on it and videos like this. But if I ever do a playthrough, it's going to be a playthrough that I enjoy doing. I'm not going to force myself to do these boring playthroughs anymore. I'm not going to force myself to do something I don't like. I'm going to do what I want to do. It's sort of like life. I want this video to sort of just have an ending, have like a meaning, I want this video to be able to actually be relatable to some of you guys, and I think it will be when I get to the end of it, and I think you guys can try to see can at least start to see what I'm trying to say. Hopefully. If so, I'm doing a good job. But But yeah, if playthroughs happen, it will be because I want to play that game, and I want to share the experience with you guys, because I think it's an experience that I get to, archive and experience for myself again, because I still go back and watch moments from Little Nightmares 2 playthrough and our Little Nightmares 1 playthrough. I can't say the same, however, for my other playthroughs. I rarely go back and watch those. Those have just sort of faded into obscurity. But not Little Nightmares. Not Little Nightmares. Man, I love that fucking game. But, yeah. So, there's that. But, that is sort of it for the whole playthrough part. I'm obviously not done talking. I think I'm going to start to wrap up now, though. So, with all of that said and done, with everything said and done, I just want to wrap this video up in a bow tie and just, talk about like what does it actually mean? Like what's the point of this video, And if I were to say that like the message for this video, if there ever was one, it's that do what you want to do. Listen to your heart sometimes. Listen to your heart, but also listen to your instincts and listen to logic, My life hasn't really been me listening to my heart. I've been just following logic most of the time. But then when I started listening to my heart, a lot of options opened up for me. That was the whole point of the life section. But when I listened to my heart too much, I sort of lost my vision of what my life needs to be and if I want to actually be successful. And that was the whole point of the game section. And then, to bring the two together, the whole point was just to... The whole point of this Little Nightmares 3 section was to basically wrap up the two and just combine them together and just finding a balance between what I want to do and what I don't want to do. Little Nightmares playthroughs have been something I want to do. I want to do a Little Nightmares 3 playthrough, and I'm excited to do it. I cannot say the same for other games. For many other games. There might be others that get that feeling, but not all of them. And I'm now beginning to both listen to my heart, but also listen to logic. If games are something I want to do playthroughs of, I will do them, but I will not force myself to do them. That's not how you should walk through life. You shouldn't walk through life forcing yourself to do everything, but you also shouldn't walk through life letting your enjoyment of things bog the world around you. That shouldn't be how you walk through things. So, yeah. That is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys were able to get something out of it and sort of just see where I am in my life and how I'm sort of coming along. If you just wanted to watch this video to hear me talk, that's great too. But I just wanted to sit down for a little while and just talk with you guys on how everything is going. There may be more videos like this to come. I'm not sure. I don't know when I'm going to upload next, but when I do, it will be because I want to. And it will be because, it will be because there is passion behind it. Uploading clips is something I still love doing, and I'll still continue to do it. But playthroughs are not going to be what they are anymore, and that's okay. That's fine. As for life, I sort of started listening to myself rather than everything around me, and listening to what I want. And I think that's what you should do too. Listen to what you want. Listen to your own heart. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. What do you want? What is it that you want at the end of the day? Because that is what will make your life truly successful. It could be anything. But listen to yourself. But also, don't drown out the noise of others around you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and there may be more on the way. I will see you guys when I see you guys next. Take care of yourselves out there, and goodbye.